Hey you guys, this is Oshi and this is going to be my October decks recap and a few decks that I'm gonna be using in November. So let's start with just generally. I managed to use every deck that I chose, which is fun. Not, like in the same amount, but it was useful. Actually giving myself only a few decks to use and putting some structure around it. The first one is gonna be the Horror Tarot, which was my last daily reader for the month. And even though I really like the deck, it's still, I haven't used it a lot, so it's still not fully, completely broken in. So when I shuffle it, sometimes there are still cards sticking together like this. But it's getting better as I shuffle it more, so it's just gonna take some time to actually fully break in the deck. But what's unfortunately still an issue, and it's getting a bigger one because my eyesight is unfortunately aging. The titles are horrible. I understand that having, I don't even know how to show you guys, maybe this way, that having a foiled title is cool, but it's really hard to read what's on the card. And I usually, especially when I used it for daily pulls, I pull it in the morning when it's dark, and every time I was like, oh, what is it? Is this the Lovers for sure? Because some cards are not necessarily that immediately understandable. Like this is the Empress. When you look at a card like this, it's not something that you would be like, oh yeah, that for sure, the Empress. It has a fun imagery. I would like to spend more time with it, so I'm definitely thinking about bringing it back, maybe in like next January or something like that. I don't know, because it's, that's just gonna be like a wintry month, to see the imagery more. But other than the title, it was a really good reader as well. But the titles are a bit annoying, so I wish there would be a new edition with better title, because there's a lot of borders as well on the cards, which are kind of cool. The borders are cool, and I'm not saying that they need to be removed, because the red adds to the cards, So yeah, I know. This is the Emperor, for example. So I'm not saying that they should remove the borders, because they shouldn't. It's fun. Yes, of course a borderless would be like really cool, because we can see the imagery more, but the borders add to the horrorness of the cards, so I don't mind them. Just, I don't know, these need to be bigger and just not foiled, because honestly I can't read it. Okay, but and I think I already said it in the end of the last video that I'm sure there's gonna be a deck that I'm gonna add, because I forgot. I don't know if that was the Supernatural Oracle, if I added it in the video, because I forgot to check. But and I know I said that I'm not gonna use the Hush Tarot, but how can I not use the Hush Tarot? I had to use the Hush Tarot. I love this deck. It's such a great reader. It was a weekly reader, a daily reader, and I love the tactile experience of the cards. It's one of my favorite ones to shuffle. I like the size, it's smaller but wider, and I love the imagery. The Hush Tarot is one of my all-time favorite decks now, which I didn't think that would be. It was just an intriguing deck when I first picked it up. But it's a really cool one, and it reads really well. I like the extra information I can get from the imagery. Look at this. YouTube, you don't. So it's a fun deck, and like I said, I just love handling it. I know how it sounds, but with with something that needs to be handled, it's important. So Hash Tarot was added, Hash Tarot was cool, Hash Tarot didn't disappoint, because Hash Tarot is... Can I say Hash Tarot even more than I said? Yes, of course, but I'm not gonna. Next one was, I'm gonna make a pouch for it in December, hopefully. Is the Zombie Oracle, which... Are you surprised that it's a great reader for me? You shouldn't. It works well with, you know, readings. I used it mostly in, or maybe just... Yeah, in videos, because I don't pull oracle cards for daily or monthly. No, the monthlies are already pulled, so I'm not pulling for them, but for the weekly and the daily readings, I'm not pulling oracles for myself, at least not now. I think I'm gonna switch up things next year, but I want to finish because I want to see which card was, you know, most used for the year. If I switch to oracles in the middle of, not middle, at the end of the year, then it's gonna be different. So no, I have issues, I know. Another one was the Fool for Tarot. Again, a great reader. I used it in readings as well, which was really fun, because I wasn't sure if I could, but and also Chris from Elemental Cartomancy has a weekly live stream where you know, he has a segment, or like half of the stream is pulling cards for a spread, which I usually forgot to post, but there was one where I actually managed to participate. Usually I either miss it because I need to go to sleep or because I'm doing something else. But this one was used for that one, and it was great. I mean, besides a daily and a weekly reader, I think it's a very cleverly minimalistic deck, because you can, you know, the placements are not just... Ooh, what was that? There's a big windstorm out there, so who knows. So, you know, there are you have to know, I think Spike or Buffy at least, but maybe Angel as well, to fully appreciate the deck. So I'm not saying that it's gonna read well for everybody, because you just see a beat up car and they're like, what is this? But this is Spike's car. That was hard to say. So ooh, oh, the videotape when they were... I know. Oh, I'm not saying it because just in case someone didn't watch it, it's gonna be spoilerish as hell. But it's a great deck. I love using it. At first, you know, when I got it, I was a bit worried that I'm not gonna be knowledgeable enough about everything, even though I watched Buffy multiple times, but it doesn't mean I remember everything. But it comes back, and even if if I just keep with the imagery, it's still a good reader. So if you like Buffy and Angel and Spike especially, I recommend it for the Rumor Haven's deck. So I think I linked the shop. It's MPC. So if you you know, Google Rumor Haven or Fool for Tarot MPC, you should find it. Another one was the Haunted House, which was a lot more which was a better reader, surprisingly for me, than I expected it. There are cards where sometimes I was like, what do you want to say to me? In a good way, because, you know, sometimes the imagery is not exactly how the original Rider-Waite is depicting things, which obviously, because this has his own story in the mirror with the strength. Oh, this one was one of my favorite ones. I use it as my phone lock screen now because I just loved the way it looked. Especially with, I have two crystals on my daily card stand. This simple quartz and this the aura quartz is flying. Now, I don't know if you can, how much you can see, but isn't it beautiful? And these two next to this card, I mean, you can imagine how beautiful they look. So it's just a very good combination with crystals and cards, because it sometimes happens. But yeah, so I really like the deck. I'm glad I was able to use it a lot more, and I think I have, I don't know if I can find it quickly, the 8 of Wands is becoming one of my favorite 8 of Wands. I'm trying to think which one was my favorite before, because this one. I just love the blue and the yellow and the contrast of the two colors. I don't know, it's just, it does something for me. I don't know why. But that's one of my favorite ones for sure. Okay, so this was again a good reader. Managed to use it every way that I planned, which I'm very pleased with, because, you know, I wasn't sure when I started to do these monthly selections that I'm gonna be able to, but because I think it's because I have my Hungarian channel where I post readings that I'm better at actually using cards, because for myself it would be just a daily and the weekly reading, and maybe not everything would be used, especially oracle cards this year. I need to re-edge it because it's kind of fading, but the zombie oracle, obviously, not surprisingly, very good reader, a fun reader, but not in a way that it's not serious, because it's a fun one, but the messages are, you know, still the same if you want to see them. I don't know why everything is all like mixed. It shouldn't be upside down, because I'm not reading reversals, but sometimes I manage to just shuffle it in a way. It's a very cool deck, I think. I really like the style. Yeah, so this was again used in every way possible and didn't disappoint. Not like I'm expecting a deck to disappoint me, it's just that I'm not sure, you know, maybe there's gonna be decks that I will pull for something like this that are not good for, I don't know, daily readings, because they are too complicated and I would need more time to sit with them or something like that. So that's what I'm expecting sometimes. Supernatural Oracle, I don't like the box. I just don't buy. Okay, which one? What did I mess up completely? What did I do with the cards? Very interesting. And I again managed to put it back on in the wrong way. So this is obviously something where you need to read the guidebook, because even if you know Crowley is or Mary, you need to check what exactly the guidebook says, and you know, maybe you don't remember exactly what Eileen supposed to mean, or the Leviathan Blossom, but the descriptions are really like clear. It's a very good oracle deck, even if you don't know supernatural. So unlike the Fool for Tarot, which you have to know the lore, you have to know Spike to fully be able to enjoy the deck. I think even if you don't know supernatural, you just like the design or the art style, you can still use this deck completely fine, because the guidebook is just that good. Obviously, if you don't read the guidebook, then it's useless, but you should. So yeah, this is something that I recommend even if you don't like supernatural. And then for November, I only picked a few decks because I'm gonna be traveling in November, and I'm gonna be very busy with university, that's the word. So I don't know how much videos actually I'm gonna be able to put out. we will see. I like to post a video per week, but I might have to let that expectation go. So the one of them is the Ephemere, because I was thinking what I want to pull, and all the decks that came to my mind were meant to be used in December, because I already had those ideas that, oh, it's December deck, but it's just November. I'm kind of skipping a month, which I can't. I love this deck, but I don't have enough time to play with it. And there's gonna be a live stream on the 6th, I would say 6th of November, if I remember correctly, but it's gonna be scheduled on my channel, where we're gonna be talking about ancestral work, and this is one of the decks that's gonna be featured on my part. And I'm gonna tell why there. So if you're interested and you want to see Elaine, Sarah, Richie and Gerald as our annual Halloween stream, then please join us live, because it would be cool. So yeah, this needs to be studied as well. So I don't know, maybe it's a stupid idea to pull it out for a month where I don't really have time, but you know, if I wait forever to have a free month, then I'm never gonna do anything. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's been a while that I've sold the cards. I just love it. So looking forward to, yeah, I love the purple. Using this one. So this is the Ephemere Tarot by the creator Arthur Wang, who created the True Black Tarot, which is also one of my favorite. And I hope the Ephemere doesn't have a 5-year anniversary holographic edition in the making, because I'm gonna be broke if it's happening. Another one is, again, a deck that I don't ever use, but I want to, because I want to decide if I want to keep it or sell it, is the Moonchild. This is the, I don't even remember, like the shadow version or there's some name attached to this edition, but I have no idea currently. Shadow work edition, sorry. The size is not my favorite. The young kings and queens, not necessarily my favorites, but you know. And this is a deck that I wanted for one card, which is stupid, but I kind of thought that, you know, from the previews, that of course I'm gonna love everything else as well. But it's not really happening, so I need to find a way to either bond with it and find a way to, because I love these. These two cards are really cool. Am I in the frame as well? I don't even know. Maybe I wasn't even in the frame, so look at it. It's pretty. But I don't really know if the previous ones were not completely in the frame, because I moved around things camera-wise, and I'm used to how it was before. But you know, I need to decide, because sitting on a deck like this is just stupid. If I don't like it, I should sell it. Especially because, you know, it's not that easy to get in Hungary, so I think I could sell it. But I don't necessarily want to. I like the High Priestess, but I don't really like the Star. You know, there are cards that I really like, there are cards I don't. And I need to put this one aside, because I don't use extra cards in my deck currently. I used to leave every extra card in my decks, but for a while now I just like, I don't know why, but it changed. I think, you know, practices keep changing, so there's nothing surprising or wrong with it, right? Did you see? Ace of Swords. what a moment of illumination. But yeah, it's not the most secure, by the way, which is not necessarily a bad thing, just good to know. And one oracle which I at least know and used often, and somebody's texting me and I don't care. is the Angelarium, which was my first ever oracle card, and we love each other. At least I do love the decks, and I think they love me back. The cards and everything. So it's gonna be the focus point for readings. We will see how, because maybe in a reading I will pull extra decks, but I want to see what if I don't, because the Ephemere and this one, I think they match well together, and the Ephemere could be the light aspect of the reading, the Moonchild could be the shadowy side of the reading. We will see. And the last one is, because like I said, I'm traveling, is gonna be the Light Seer's Pocket Edition, which I should edge it finally, but I never have a time to get around doing that, which arrived already dented, which annoys the hell out of me. What can you do? Nothing. So I'm gonna be carrying this one with me so I can do readings when I'm not home. Because, you know, daily readings, weekly readings, videos to make on the go. That's gonna be fun. But you will hear about that later. So these are the 4 decks that I'm thinking about. I'm not saying it's not gonna change, or, you know, like I said, I might pull a deck out for a specific reading, but these are gonna be the focal points for the month. We will see how it turns out. It's not a bad selection, I think, and you know, this should be enough. Like 2 tarot decks, an oracle deck and a pocket edition to carry around should be enough. So that's gonna be a challenge for me, because maybe I will be annoyed that I don't have as much decks out as I usually have, but we'll see. Okay, so this was the recap. Hopefully this was interesting. Do let me know if you have a similar video out, because I want to watch. Usually I watch it, like it, and I don't have time to, unfortunately, leave a comment because I'm doing something else. But please do know that I watch your videos. It's just that I cannot be as active currently in comments as I want to. But I will be back next August maybe. But yeah, thank you so much for being here, and see you in the next one. Bye.